Previously on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
No need to ask. He's a smooth operator. Get up.
Can you interact with the people instead of
I asked Chris.
sitting there playing with your...
I'm not playing with my...
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the podcast that melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Now, here are your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Coming at you like a donkey on PCP. It's Darren and Mike. Mike and Darren.
A donkey on PCP. You went to Ohio University, so you would...
Yes.
I'm sorry, the Ohio University.
No.
You would know more about donkeys on PCP.
No, we did not have
I went
the.
to the East Tennessee State University,
Okay.
and we never loaded up a donkey on PCP.
Was there a West, South, and North Tennessee State University?
There is a Middle Tennessee State University.
There's not a Middle Tennessee
There
State.
is MTSU. It is in, well, it's in the middle of the state.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Darren.
Yeah, I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Yeah, we're dads, we're irritable, and
And
this
here
is
we are.
Syndrome.
And this is episode 42.
We're nervous. I'm nervous because episode 40, you know, we record these things in advance, people.
Yes.
So the results of 40 have been coming through for 6 days now.
Yeah,
And it's flying off the charts.
I know.
Our charts.
I know. It's selling like crazy. It's selling like hotcakes, as they say in Indiana.
There's a potential that we have a whole lot of new listeners, too.
Yeah, which
And
would
that
be
makes
awesome.
me very nervous.
Yeah.
When I get nervous, I clam up.
Yeah. It's weird that we're recording, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because we do record these shows in advance, and we're recording a couple of shows even earlier than we normally do because of our vacation schedules. And we insisted when we first started this podcast, we are always going to release one a week. If we have to record 8 episodes, by God, we're recording 8 episodes.
If we have to have an episode where it's just us playing Pinochle.
Right. I have no idea how to play Pinochle.
Is that a real game?
Yeah, it's a real game.
The K is with a C-H-L-E.
Pinochle.
Knuckle. Yeah. And cricket.
Cricket.
And knuckle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're actually recording episode 42 before episode 41 even hits the stands.
That's right. I listened to episode 41 today.
Episode 41 I thought was really good.
Boy, howdy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That's a keeper.
That's
I'm just saying.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
That is a podcast.
That's a podcast.
That's definitely an episode of
I
our
would
podcast.
I'd say all of our 40 era podcasts have been good.
We've only had 2 of them in the 40 era.
I know, but they're
I'll tell
nice.
you what I was saying to you last week.
Yeah.
Was I wish our first 10 episodes of this podcast were as good as our last 10. Because something happened. You and I caught something.
Excuse me. It's one of the cicadas got in.
You and I grabbed hold of something.
Yeah.
And from episode 30 on, those all felt like, and maybe it's just, I don't know.
You know
maybe
what
I'm
I
too
love?
close to it because I'm looking back at them and I'm not looking at it as someone who's outside looking in, and I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Can I tell you the perspective of someone outside looking in?
Yeah.
We both just said when we started out, and then you're like, something happened, and then episode 30 on, we're good. So basically what we said is episodes 1 through 29
suck.
They're not that good. And you know what I did? I went back to 30. No, they're okay. I went back to 30. I went back to episode 30, and we're excited at the beginning of it. If you listen to the beginning of it, it's when we started the cold opens, and it's when we started the 2 microphone setup.
Is that episode 30?
Episode 30. A lot of firsts happen in episode 30.
Okay.
I was going back because I wanted to pull clips for the animation.
When did we start throwing little hidden pieces of audio after the credits like they do in the Marvel movies?
Maybe 39, 40. It's been no, 38.
I thought it was
It was
sooner
the
than
textual
that.
tension one because that was the first one we had a fancy open that was a little too fancy for prime time, so we put that at the end, and then we
pushed that one way back.
Yeah, we started having a kick.
Kids are already in bed, and then they can hear that episode. So, but that's something that I wanted to mention was that people keep telling me, "Oh, hey, I need to get caught up on your podcast," because I have friends who've listened to episodes 1 or 2, and then life gets in the way, and they haven't heard anymore.
Yeah,
and I think that they're hung up on the fact that they need to listen to 1 through 40 before they can listen to episode 41, and that's just not true.
No, here's what you do.
Our podcast is not sequential at all.
Here's what you do. If you're a new listener, congratulations.
And welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Yeah, hi, we're glad you're here.
If this is the latest episode, continue to listen.
Please.
If it's not, stop listening right now. Go to the latest episode, whatever it is. Right. Listen to that one. And then look at the show notes for a topic that interests you.
Yeah.
And listen to that one.
Yeah.
And then if you like them, keep listening to them. Do that all the way from 30 to whenever you find this. Mm-hmm. When you're ready and when you feel like you're a super fan, don your personal protective equipment,
right,
and dive into episodes 1 through 29. I recommend going in reverse order.
Yeah, they listen to episode 41.
Yeah.
And then they listen to episode 40.
Yeah.
And then 39.
Yeah.
And then 38.
You've got to ease, you got to back into it.
Yeah. I think they should do it like that.
And when you get to the point where you start to think, why am I listening to these guys? Stop.
Collaborate.
And listen to the next episode.
We're very excited that you're here.
I'm excited.
For some reason, our show has really picked up.
I really don't know what it is.
And we're very excited about it. So.
I do get a kick out of seeing the episode titles because they have it now to where you can click on the day and see what people downloaded.
Yeah.
And I'll just get a kick out of it. It's like, because you'll see, you can see where someone downloaded like 5 episodes in a row, like 26, 27, 28, 29. And then you just see a random where they picked the Robo Monkey randomly.
I have a problem with horns.
I have a problem with horns or something just random. And it always, it tells me something about that person that they went there.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if people are looking at the titles and thinking that one looks interesting.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I do on podcasts.
Yeah. Okay.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs. Hi, everybody. It's your old buddy Dave. And you know what? It's cookout season. Whenever I get invited to my neighbor's cookout, I ask 3 questions. Will there be ladies? Will there be beer? And will there be Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs? If the answer to any of these questions is no, I just say screw it. I ain't going. Oh, and if you're telling me you can afford an $800 Weber grill, but can't spend an extra $5 on real hot dogs, what a load of crap. Whoppers are made from 100% pure beef, with no fillers and no preservatives. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your Whoppers hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll refund your money guaranteed. So be a man. Don't settle for anything less than Whoppers all-beef footlong hot dogs.
Our 7-year Facebook anniversary, is that happened?
That was on Friday. Yeah, I got the thing that says, congratulations, Mike Odell and Darren Cox. You guys have been friends on Facebook for 7 years. And it's so cute because it shows your picture and then it puts my picture side by side and they flip them around. And then they, you guys have shared 80 posts together. And
80.
Or I don't know the number. I don't know. But it's like.
I liked your crap
700 times. Yeah.
And you liked my crap.
Yeah. So congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations of being my Facebook friend 7 years.
Now, did we become Facebook friends right off the bat or was it?
I don't remember. I blocked a lot of that stuff out.
Yeah. We were just like I call it cross-arm buddies for a while.
Yeah.
Like you stand cross-armed while you're watching your kids finger paint or whatever the hell they're doing at the little kids or kids parties.
Yeah.
And we're just, sitting there and just like, that one kid looks like he's really taking off. And then one of us is like, yeah, you better keep him away from the ketchup. And then we both giggle.
You're like, why is that kid standing in a corner trying to run into it? And you're like, leave him alone. He goes to public school.
We went through that 5 or 6 times until at one point, either Libby was with you, Bez was with me, or we were all 4 together.
Right.
And one of them said, we should go out to dinner, or let's go have a strawberry shortcake.
Because that's how they both talk like that.
Let's have a Sunday.
A Sunday?
Okay, cut that one out.
Yeah.
Let's have an ice cream. We should collect stamps together. Whatever the hell they said. that caused us to stop standing there like kids.
No, I know exactly what it was.
And turn into adults.
I know exactly what it was. Andrew was invited over to our house for a play date.
Oh, okay.
And because they don't call it a play date anymore. It's to hang out.
Okay.
To hang out. So Bess came over.
Okay.
And Bess and Libby hit it off. And they were having a pretty good time hanging out and talking or whatever.
Okay.
And then, like the next night, I was at the YMCA taking my son to swim lessons or some lessons.
Yeah.
I saw Andrew walk in.
Okay.
I assumed that the man walking him in to the YMCA was his father.
Yeah.
And I assumed correctly. And I said, hey, you must be Mike. And he goes, oh, yeah, why are you talking to me? And back off.
Yeah.
Back off,
stranger
man.
danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then I said who I was.
Yeah.
And, oh, hey. And boy, did you act like you were interested in things that I had to say. And it turns out that you weren't.
Relatively good at doing that.
You are very good fake. So... And then the next time the boys had a play date was Cameron came over here, and that was with the giant misunderstanding. I had called to say that I was on my way to pick up Cameron, and you had just started a movie or a game, and when I got here, they were both on the floor screaming, bawling, crying.
Yeah.
Good times. And you're like, I totally misinterpreted.
Was that the time that Cameron bit into the butter and asserted dominance?
No. That was later on.
Okay. So. 7 years.
7 years.
Good God.
Yeah, I know.
If it was a dog, it'd be 49-year-old dog.
Yeah.
With back problems, flea bitten.
Exactly. Yeah,
all right.
Pissing on the carpet all the time.
We're going to Cleveland.
We are going to Cleveland. We're going to Cleveland. We're going to the Cleveland.
We're going to the land of Cleves.
We're going to the Cleveland at the end of October. We're going to see Mike and Randy GOJIRA, the GOJIRA brothers. Where are they playing?
They are playing in Cleveland.
Okay.
At a theater.
Or the Cleveland.
At the Cleveland. And I want to clarify some things because I listened to our previous episodes late. And I was listening to it, and it sounded like I said that Mike and Randy GOJIRA invited us to see them.
Which I thought you did that intentionally.
Yeah.
Because I even said, they invited us.
Yeah.
And I asked you, and you did say yes. Oh, by the fact that they intentionally...
Yeah. Here's what happened. Here's
the deal.
So they are playing a concert in Cleveland. Okay?
Yeah.
I got an email from GOJIRA. I assumed from Mike and or Randy GOJIRA.
Right.
I don't know if they share an email account. I don't know if one of them sends it.
I'd like to think that by now they would have separate email accounts.
But it looked like it was like they're going on tour. Here's the dates. And I noticed that Cleveland was there. So if I wanted to invite you to go somewhere, I would send you an email and say, here's where I'm going to be. Well,
you would probably call me or you would mention it to me while we were doing the podcast.
Yeah, but I'm not Mike or Randy GOJIRA.
No, you're
They're
not.
going to send an email. So they send an email. Now, did they send this email to everybody on their fan email list? Maybe. And given that it didn't say, Dear Mike,
no,
probably.
All right.
And so I took it as being invited personally by Mike and Randy GOJIRA.
Right.
So I bought tickets to go see them.
Right.
So I got an email from GOJIRA, says we're going to be here. I bought tickets. So I look at it as we've been invited by them. Now, we are going to also go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They are going to be in the same city.
Right. We are assuming that they will also go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Because why would they not?
No, you're in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Whenever you go to the Cleveland, you have to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So I would say the odds that they'll be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as visitors that next day are very good.
Pretty good.
I know that the odds of us being there are very good. Because we're planning on being there.
We're absolutely going.
So there's very high odds that there is a Irritable Dad Syndrome and GOJIRA will both be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's not a false statement in there at all.
No.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Glad we clarified that.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want people to go under false assumptions.
Right.
That just because Mike and Randy GOJIRA emailed me.
Right.
Yeah.
And we want you to know, everybody out there listening to our podcast, that if you are planning on being in the Cleveland area on October 29th or October 30th, we will be more than happy to greet you, to sign autographs, to take pictures, and to talk and have stories shared with you, our loyal fans.
Okay, if I may, I want to read the response email that I got from Mike and Randy Gojira.
Gotcha.
You tell me if this is not a personal request.
Okay.
Dear, and then it says my name. Thank you for your purchase. Okay. Your confirmation number is... Please keep this number for future reference. If you need the assistance of customer care, please visit our... And then it gives the address of the ticket agency. Now, many people would say, well, that's just a standard confirmation email that you get from the ticket place.
Yeah.
I see it as, Dear Irritable Dad Syndrome, thank you so much for accepting our personal invitation to see us in Cleveland. Lots of love, Mike and Randy Gojira.
Like a stalker. Okay.
Yeah.
They love me, Darren. They want me to come and sit front row. They love me, Darren. Yeah. Is what I'm hearing from you.
I didn't say they love me. I just said dear. Dear.
Did they say dear?
They did say dear.
Okay.
They just say dear.
That doesn't sound like something that
you can see it from over there.
Yeah.
Dear.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this particular email is not from Gojira per se. It's from the place that sells the tickets. But I think we all know what they're really saying.
I don't think that means what you think that means.
Okay.
But anyway, if you're in Cleveland, end of October, we will be there. And we hope to run into you at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. And come on up. We will be happy to take our picture with you. We will be happy to sign autographs.
Yeah.
Hey. If you've got your You Need to Learn More Words shirt, that'd be awesome to wear to the show. And then we could have our picture taken together.
I'll wear that.
Yeah.
I'll wear that.
But I'm talking to the fans. I know you're going to wear that. I'm going to wear my You Need to Learn More Words shirt.
Okay. All right. All right.
That's how you'll know that we're Mike and Darren from Irritable Dad Syndrome.
You know what? If we're both wearing our You Need to Learn More Words shirt, and then we're like just randomly greeting people in our radio announcer voice, like, "Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming to Cleveland.
To the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did you see the Gojira brothers last night?
What did you think about that concert there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Some people call it death metal, but I call it
funk metal. I don't know what you call it. I don't know.
I was going to say fancy feast, but
fancy feast. That
doesn't
cat
fit.
Food.
This is awful.
Yeah. This is the worst episode ever.
This is bad.
We're like 20 minutes into it. We seriously ought to start over.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. How many times have you said, "Man, I'd love to strip the wallpaper on that living room, but I just don't have the time"? Well, now you do with Diff. Diff is fast and easy, and here's the real kicker: no steamer is needed when removing wallpaper with Diff. Looking for the perfect gift for Dad on Father's Day? Well, take it from me. You can't go wrong with Diff. Diff is the only one that really works. Look for Diff wherever quality wallpaper stripper is sold.
We got a question from a listener. Jim Timmerman, who's a fan of the show, Planking with Jim. He sponsors our show on his show, and we sponsor his show on our show. It's a common ground that we have it's a crossover, so to speak. Anyway, he said, "Dear Irritable Dad Syndrome, I have a question for next week." He says, "What will be the first thing you each do on your first day out of prison?" So say you are in prison, minimum security, 5 years for a misunderstanding.
Okay.
So you're wrong. I'm assuming that he's saying we're wrongfully convicted. So what's the first thing you're going to do when you get out of prison?
Well, I'm going to go...
You'll probably go to a record store and buy some new vinyl.
No. I'm going to go to a long rock wall with a big oak tree at the north end. It's like something out of a Robert Frost poem.
And
it's where
you're gonna find a stone.
Yeah,
it's buried under a tree.
At the base of that wall, I'll find a rock that has no earthly business in a Maine hayfield. A piece of black volcanic glass, and there's something buried under it that I'll find. And once I get that, I'll go fly down to a Mexican shore with Andy Dufresne.
What was the name of the beach that they went to? Oh, God.
I can't remember.
Because the first thing that I'll do is I will start my search for the one-armed man who killed my wife. You know, I work at WLWT, and a few years ago, we did a story on a guy who was in prison, and I can't remember what the charges, why he was convicted, why he was in prison, but we were doing another story about a woman who tried to stab a pregnant woman and steal her baby.
Oh, my God.
And in doing that story, they found out that this guy who was in prison was in there wrongfully.
Okay.
And anyway, the reporter, Dave Wagner, managed to, bring new evidence. The guy got out of prison.
Wow.
Because new evidence came up from doing one research on one story that led to him getting out. And what was the first thing he did? He got a steak at the Waffle House. That's where he wanted to go. Yeah. He wanted to go to Waffle House and get a steak. Now, I love Waffle House. I love my scattered, splattered, smothered, covered, and chunked hash browns. And I love I can eat, I don't know how many. I love the waffles at Waffle House. So good. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably go to Tudor's Biscuit World.
Tudor's Biscuit World? Yeah.
So, I mean, this is not in any way related, but it kind of reminded me of a story. There was a guy in West Virginia, and this is true, but I don't remember all the specifics. He'd won the lottery, and he got a cash payout in a suitcase.
Yeah.
In his car. He put all the money in a suitcase in his car.
Uh-huh.
And he went to a strip club.
Oh, my God.
And he took just a wad of cash in there with him at the strip club.
No.
And while he's in there, having the hour or 2 hours or 3 hours of his life, someone broke into his car and stole all the money. So then he came out, and he had literally just blown all his money, and it was all gone.
Like what?
Just
like
stolen.
$10 million.
Just gone. I can't remember. It was like $1 million or a couple million. I forget how much it was. This is years. This is like 20 years ago.
He enjoyed that lap dance.
Wow.
So, Jim, thank you for your question.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, now with anti-cavity protection.
So we have a super fan of the show.
Okay.
Guy's name is Greg BOTOS.
All right.
And he's
one of our patrons.
Yes, he's the first patron of our show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the first person to say, I like this podcast so much, I am going to financially back this podcast.
He put money into this.
He put money into it. Exactly. Yeah. And Greg, we really appreciate you doing that. And we hope more people follow in Greg's footsteps. Here's the thing. Greg is a fan of the show. He's actually my son's drum instructor. And over the past couple of years, we've become pretty good friends with him. And I mentioned on episode 41 that I needed some electrical help around the house. And he says, I'll come and do it.
Okay.
And so he came and helped out. So
Is that the guy that worked for beer?
Yes. Okay. He works for beer. Right. So downstairs, outside my movie room, had a ground fault outlet that wouldn't reset. And he thought we needed to replace the ground fault outlet.
Okay.
So I went and bought that at the Home Depot.
Yeah.
And brought it. And he comes over and we replace it. It still won't reset. So we did some more research and we found out that he says, usually it's something really big that's plugged into one of your outlets that's causing it. Like, do you have a sump pump? I said, yeah, I have a sump pump. Where is it? It's in the movie room in the little closet there. Yeah. So we open it up. The sump pump is dead. It's been dead for like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And it has been raining.
Yeah.
And our basement didn't flood. Thank God.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm thinking, well, crap, we've got to replace our sump pump.
Yeah.
This is going to cost me, I don't know how much. I got to get a plumber and got to get the thing.
Yeah.
I'm imagining hundreds of dollars that it's going to take to do this. And he goes, I've replaced sump pumps before. We can do this tomorrow. So this guy, out of the goodness of his heart, comes over the next day. And we run to the Home Depot, and we're buying a sump pump.
Uh-huh.
And he comes and he fixes it for more beer. Here's the thing, the crazy thing. So I'm holding the sump pump, and he's looking for PVC pipe and things. And this guy, this employee at Home Depot, walks up to him and says, "You guys looking for a 1.5 inch pipe with a coupling?" Like, yeah. How did you know that? I just know that. Some guy named Elmer. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Elmer. Yeah.
So Greg comes over and he's helping me out, and we're replacing the sump pump. And he keeps mentioning the show.
Okay.
And I think he wants to replace you.
Okay.
Because he keeps saying, if there's ever a day when Mike's not on the show, or if there's ever a time when Mike's on vacation, I'd happily sit in. And this guy, he's a drummer. So he's played with Frank Sinatra Jr. He's played with Frankie Yankovic, and he's like telling Marge shot stories, and he's an engineer talking to the kids about how robots are not going to take over the world. And anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you, Mike, is if you ever get hit by a bus or abducted by aliens, Greg BOTOS is completely willing to step in and take over.
Okay.
And I think probably if I get hit by a bus or abducted by aliens, he'll sit in and talk to you. So he's ready.
Yeah, we got like a spare host ready to go.
We have a spare host ready to go. Greg, I wanted to say, I really appreciate you listening to the show, and there's your shout out, and thanks for all the help, and thanks for listening to the podcast.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Otis Elevators. Hi, this is your announcer, Dave Lay, and if there's one word that describes me, it's brand loyal. I've been riding Otis Elevators all my life, and if I'm ever in a building that doesn't have an Otis, I say screw it, I'm taking the stairs. I know those other brands are fine, but take it from me. Riding in another brand of elevator, well, it's just not the same. There's nothing like the feel, the smell, and the comfort of an Otis elevator. The next time you're in an elevator, look up and make sure it's an Otis. If it's not, well, maybe you should take the stairs. Now, back to the show.
When I got over here tonight, your house is just covered in cicadas.
They're swarming.
My house is covered in cicadas. Now, 17 years ago, when we lived up here, we didn't see them at all. You had to drive downtown or and one of those areas or whatever to see them. But they're all over our area now. Greg BOTOS calls them she-cadas.
Okay.
Because she is always the cause of the problem.
Oh, no. So this is episode 42. My favorite book of all time by my favorite author, Douglas Adams, is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I want to give a shout out. So Towel Day, you've never seen me on Towel Day. Towel Day is May 25th.
Towel Day?
Towel Day. Towel Day.
Spell it.
Towel. Towel Day.
Oh, like you towel yourself after a shower.
Yes.
Towel Day.
A Towel Day.
Okay.
Towel Day comes from a section of the book that says, and I'm going to read this from the book because I know you'll never read it.
Okay.
A towel is about the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can have. Partly, it has great practical value. You can wrap it around you for warmth as you bound across the cold moons of Jaglin Beta. You can lie on it on the brilliant marble-sanded beaches of Santraginus 5, inhaling the heady sea vapors. You can sleep under it beneath the stars which shine so redly on the desert world of Kakrafun. Use it to sail a mini-raft down the slow-heavy river Moth. Wet it for use in hand-to-hand combat. Wrap it round your head to ward off the noxious fumes, or avoid the gaze of the ravenous bug-bladder beast of Trawl, such a mind-bogglingly stupid animal. It assumes that if you can't see it, it can't see you. Daft as a brush, but very, very ravenous. You can wave your towel in emergencies as a distress signal, and of course, dry yourself off with it if it still seems to be clean enough. More importantly, a towel has immense psychological value. For some reason, if a strag, i.e. non-hitchhiker, discovers that a hitchhiker has his towel with him, he will automatically assume that he is also in possession of a toothbrush, face flannel, soap, tin of biscuits, flask, compass, map, ball of string, gnat spray, wet weather gear, spacesuit, etc., etc. Furthermore, the strag will then happily lend the hitchhiker any of these or a dozen other items that the hitchhiker might have accidentally lost. What the strag will think is that any man who can hitch the length and breadth of the galaxy, rough it, slum it, struggle against terrible odds, win through, and still knows where his towel is clearly a man to be reckoned with. Towel Day.
Do you remember the episode where I tried to read a story about a squirrel being in love with a chipmunk?
Yes.
Do you remember when I was trying to read that?
Yes.
And you didn't understand a thing that was going on with it?
No.
And you just blatantly just wouldn't let me continue with it at all. Yeah.
You probably should have interrupted me on that one because I have no idea where this is.
I was like, is Tatooine in this thing? I kept thinking of Towley from South Park, and don't forget your towel. I didn't understand a thing you just said.
Yeah, it's Towel Day.
Towel Day.
Episode 42, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
So 42 is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything.
Uh-huh.
It's 42.
Okay.
We interrupt our show for this special announcement. Congratulations to Greg BOTOS, Irritable Dad Syndrome's Listener of the Week. This has been a special announcement.
I wanted to wish happy birthday to a very special person. We should have mentioned this last episode, but our announcer, Dave Lay, has a birthday coming up.
Well, how old is Dave Lay? Are we allowed to say how old he's going to be?
I don't think he would care.
Okay.
I think Dave is going to be 52.
Wow, 52 years young.
Years young.
I hate when people say that.
Dave Lay is the best announcer this show's ever had. He's been a very good friend. And he's extremely, for people who don't know Dave, he's an extremely gifted videographer and an editor.
He's good at moving couches.
He is very good at moving couches.
And trampolines.
That's true.
I've seen him do both.
Yeah, that's the only 2 times you guys have actually met.
Yeah. He seemed like a nice guy.
He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Whenever I see Dave, if we're ever out for a beer or getting a burger or something, I always bring up the time Dave fired me.
He fired you.
Well, we used to work together at the same company where we did corporate video production. And a lot of our clients were Fifth Third Bank, the Procter & Gamble company. We did stuff for GE aircraft engines and a lot of those places, right? And I was there a little over a year, I think.
Okay.
Maybe less than that. And we lost a major client. And they had to lay off a lot of people. So I wasn't fired. I was laid off. But my boss, did my boss come and give the news to me himself?
No, of course not. No.
He said, Dave, go in and tell Darren that we're going to have to let him go. And Dave...
Did your boss have like a bunch of people reporting to him and he just didn't have time to get to you? Is that the story?
Okay,
or
sure.
Was Dave in any way your supervisor?
No.
Or over you in any way?
No, Dave had seniority.
Okay,
over
but that's
me.
not the same thing.
Yeah. And so Dave, heartbroken, clearly heartbroken, came in.
Giggling.
And no, he wasn't giggling. Okay. Don't say that.
I would be giggling.
Yeah, of course. Well, you would. But Dave was heartbroken and he came in and said, Darren, I have to give you some news. And unfortunately, this is a situation. We're going to have to let you go. And it just sucked all the way around.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be mad at him because I could tell how upset he was. Anyway, so Dave had to break the news to me. And all these years later, we're still great friends.
Did he try to sell you diff wallpaper remover while he was firing you? Did he try to?
Liquid concentrated wallpaper stripper. It's the only one that really works.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday, Dave.
And thanks for being our announcer. And thanks for being so cool, even though you had to fire me.
I don't know about you, but I'm about to go out to the lobby and get myself a treat. Now, back to our program.
I've been watching The British Office.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I've watched a couple episodes.
We're huge fans of The Office.
Oh, I absolutely love the American version of The Office.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Well, seasons 1 through 7.
See, I love them all.
Okay.
Now, I understand it. A large part of it leaves when Michael Scott, Steve Farrell left. Steve Farrell?
Steve Carell.
Same thing. When he left. But when one of my favorite characters outside of him is Robert California. I still love who is the guy that's Robert California?
Yeah. What's his face?
David Spade.
Not David Spade.
That guy. Anyway, I love that guy. Anyway,
right.
So I've watched The Office multiple times, and I was about to sit down and start watching it again. And when I say I've watched it multiple times, I've watched the whole series through multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like Seinfeld. It's one of those you can just keep watching and watching forever. And I've never watched the British version, so I'm like, I'm going to try watching the British version. And it's a little bit of a slog to get through.
James Spader.
So I can see where a lot of the ideas came from. Like some of the storylines are exactly, like Pam and the boyfriend. And,
the sales guy.
The guy who is Jim Halpert looks kind of like him and acts kind of like
the Dwight character on the English version is creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they add extra makeup underneath his eyes to make him look, I don't know. But
he looks like Lurch from
yeah. So a very skinny, short Lurch.
Yeah, and I can't tell any of the a lot of the characters. I realize that it makes me happy about the American version is the characters are instantly recognizable. Everybody knows who Stanley is and who Jim Halpert is. It's not Marge. What's her name?
Meredith.
No, the
Angela.
Yeah. The other lady that's married to Vance, Bob Vance Refrigeration. Phyllis.
Yeah.
So everybody knows who they are. In the British office, I barely know who anybody. I know who the Dwight guy is.
Well, I'm sure
the Jim Halpert guy.
I'm sure
and the
we
boss
would
guy.
if we watched it when it came out and followed it.
But within the first few shows, I knew who they all were in the American one. This one, I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't get it. And it seems a bit serious at times when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I mean, we tried very hard on several occasions to watch the English version of The Office, and we just can't get through it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they made it, because had they not made it, we wouldn't have had the American version. Yeah. And Jim Krasinski, as I called him last week, John Krasinski, when he auditioned, he was talking, saying, man, I hope they don't really do this because it's really going to screw up the English version, not knowing that he was talking to one of the producers of the show. So, I mean, he totally could have shot himself in the foot with that.
Yeah.
But the American version of The Office is, oh my God, it's like there'll be tears coming down my face watching that. When Michael burns his foot on the George Foreman grill. And Ryan's funny with Woof.com, and Erin is funny when she gets scared and she buries herself in her hair.
Yeah. If you ever want to see, I mean, it's kind of interesting from the standpoint of the character sketches are kind of the same. Like you can see like the what the character's supposed to be like, how they're written. So if you put Michael Scott and David, whatever his name is,
James Spader,
David Brent, the boss in the office. The boss in the English office is David Brent.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if you put Michael Scott and David Brent together, if you wrote down their characteristics, they would be almost the same. But the way that each actor approaches that is just wildly different, and it just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Steve Carell, I think. I love Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
When he's hosting something and he's roasting the people and telling them to their face he doesn't care if they're laughing or not.
He did the Golden Globe Awards 4 or 5 years in a row, and the best was when he was introducing Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
Yeah.
And he said, our next two presenters, the first one has, won 2 Academy Awards, this many Golden Globes, this. And he starred in such blockbuster films as Apollo 13, Forrest Gump, this movie, and this movie.
Yeah.
And the other guy is Tim Allen. I mean, and they walk out, and both of them look at him like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cold.
Yeah.
Poor Tim Allen.
And he did something with Mel Gibson. I forget what it was he said about Mel Gibson, but I think that one actually made the news.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had a Just Stop in a while.
No.
It's been, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 episodes probably. I have to go back and check. But, boy, I've got a new one for this week.
Okay.
I am mad at the people at Wendy's because this has happened to me twice at separate Wendy's restaurants.
So Wendy's corporate, you're mad at like Wendy's in total, not just a single possible.
I'm mad at 2 different Wendy's locations.
All right.
There's lots of places where you can go and get a burger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, you go to the bigger restaurants and, I have a favorite hamburger at some of the bigger restaurants. But now if we're talking just a fast food burger, if I have my choice, I'll go to Wendy's every time.
Yeah.
Wendy's tastes 1,000 times better than Burger King. They taste better than McDonald's. They taste better. You hate Culver's. They taste way better than Culver's. I love a Wendy's double cheeseburger.
Okay.
Love them.
All right.
So, and again, this has happened to me twice now. 2 different Wendy's. You get in line at the drive-thru, and since you can't go in, you got to wait in line at the drive-thru.
Yeah.
You wait, and each time there has been 6, 7 cars ahead of me. Mm-hmm. And I waited probably 20 minutes to get up to where you order.
Right.
And what's the sign say on the order? It says, only cash allowed. No credit cards because their machine is down.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They can't figure out a way to let people know this before they get in line.
Now, see, Chick-fil-A sends out a runner. They have somebody run out in the street and tell you that happened to me. Scared
Get
the
one of those
piss out of
guys
me.
who spin the little finger pointy thing. Hey, we're open and car wash and
I thought
and
there'd been like an invasion or there was an active shooter in there because this Chick-fil-A lady just ran out from the store and up to my car. I'm like, what in the? And she's pardon me.
Yep.
You know, which you don't really need to say after you've bust through a door and ran up to a car. You don't need to see pardon me or anything like that. You need to say something, you know, that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
The police are on their way or something like that.
But
and she said, our credit machine is down. We're only accepting cash. Would you still like to remain in line?
Right.
Or can we serve you another day? It was like they had that written out.
Thank you.
And I said, that's fine. I got some cold hard cash right here.
Right.
You know, I want some chicken.
As opposed to the hot soft cash.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
But then she went to the car behind me and just kept doing that. A few people drove off, but most people stayed in line.
Yeah. I mean, very few people
But you don't
have
want to
cash
make somebody,
anymore.
you don't want to make somebody wait
No.
until they get all the way up to the front, especially Wendy's, because a lot of people like me are in line only for the Frosty.
Yeah.
I don't get food at Wendy's anymore.
I love
just
the
got the
Frosties.
Frosties.
Yeah. So anyway, Wendy's, just stop letting people wait in line. If you can't take a credit card, figure it out. Let people know so they don't have to waste their time. I want my 12 minutes back, basically.
Yeah.
So Wendy's, you have a week to rectify this.
So I learned how to cut a pineapple.
Really?
Like an actual, you know, you go in Kroger and you see the pineapples and you're like, what kind of weirdo buys the pineapple?
Libby loves
over.
buying pineapple. Yeah.
Does she really?
Oh, yeah.
And she cuts it and you guys eat fresh pineapple?
Yeah, it's delicious.
So we did that for the first time. I did, you know, I had the kids here by myself. What was it, 2 weekends ago or last weekend? And we did that. And I felt like I was like a hunter or something.
Yeah.
Like a survivalist.
You were hunting wild pineapple.
Yeah, I looked up on the YouTubes how to do it. I followed the directions. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's one of those videos of did you know that you could do this? And there's someone who says that you could grab pull the things out of the pineapple. Now, some people say that's true and other people say that's not true. I haven't tried it yet.
I haven't either.
But
I've thought about it. I just don't want to touch those things. The worst thing about a pineapple to me is that outer part.
Yeah.
Seeing it. Like if I were in the wild and I saw something like that, I would never think to cut that open and eat what's inside of it.
Yeah. I always thought a really good prank would be just to take a pineapple and go and then set it down on somebody's car and walk away. And then when they get out of work or out of their massage or their movie or whatever, they're going to be confused as hell. Why is there a pineapple on my car?
You know what else you could do? You know what else you could do? Is get a pineapple. Core it out completely, but keep the outer side. Cut a little door in there. Get some furniture from like a Barbie.
Sponge.
Put it in there, and then put it at the bottom of the sea where you know people snorkel.
Right.
And maybe get some LED lights in there, like it's a little house.
I'm certain somebody's probably done that. But back to this prank.
Okay.
So can you imagine? Because everybody has like that wacky friend. If I went out and found a pineapple in my car, the first person I would call would be you. It's like, hey, that's pretty funny what you did. And you'd be like, Darren, I have no clue what you're talking about. And I'd be like, you put the pineapple in my car. And you'd say, why would I put a pineapple in your car? I'm like, so that wasn't you. No, it wasn't. You sure? And then it would go back and forth and back and forth because somebody put a pineapple on your car.
Yeah.
And if it's not you, then who the hell would it be?
Yeah.
Right? Because no one's going to think someone's just randomly going to do this.
Yeah.
Right. So then I would call Steve Farrell. Okay, Steve, that's funny that you did that. And Steve's not going to say that he did it because he didn't do it. Yeah. And you're going to go down the line. Yeah. It's going to force people.
You're never going to find out.
It's going to force people to make a list of potential suspects who would put a pineapple on my car.
Yeah.
And then you go home and your wife's like, how was your day? I had the craziest day ever. What happened? Somebody put a pineapple on my car. And then your wife would be like, you've got to meet more friends.
Well, this is like the thing.
It would also work with the coconut.
Yeah, it would never. No, they would never get any resolution to it. You'd slowly drive them
because
mad.
it would be completely random.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like the thing I saw on the interweb. Somebody was offering to come to your funeral.
The interweb.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're offering to come to your funeral and stand off in the distance with an umbrella staring.
Yeah.
Just so everybody would wonder who that is. There. It's the same type of thing.
Did I tell you the story about my dad's funeral?
I don't know.
When Okay, so my dad wasn't very, what you would say, tolerant to new trends.
Okay.
He didn't, well, you know, I've had an earring since I was 18. Dad wasn't crazy about my earring. He wasn't crazy that I had long hair, but he let it go.
Is a mullet still considered long hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, is that what you had?
I had a mullet, but I also had it long all over.
Okay. All right.
And then in the 90s, I had the mullet.
Okay.
So at my dad's funeral, I'm standing there, I'm talking to friends of his that I've never met before. Mm-hmm. And in the back, there is a guy. And he was back there, and he was just shook up, big time shook up. And he had a shaved head.
Yeah.
But he had a tattoo all across the top of his head, like where you'd put a yarmulke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he had this giant tattoo on his head. He had gauge earrings. He had tattoos all along his neck. He had the sleeve tattoos. And I'm like, oh my God, is this some cousin of mine who I haven't seen in 30 years? I have no idea who he was. And he comes up to me and he's bawling. He's just tore up. And he explains to me who he was. My dad hired some construction workers to come to his house to build a carport outside on his property. Yeah. This is one of the guys. Okay. And Dad's blood pressure went way low and his blood sugar went way high, and it didn't agree. And he face planted. And this guy called 911, and he stayed with him until he came. But I'm thinking, you were the last person who saw my dad, right? He was alive. And I thought it was hilarious that a guy with gauge earrings, tattoos all up and down his neck and sleeves and everything, because that was not Dad's thing. But that was the last person my dad saw when he was alive.
Yeah, this reminds me, I told Bess, every once in a while I say stupid things.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. And I told her, somehow we got on the topic of funerals. Mm-hmm. And I said, I think just for the hell of it, when you bury me, just bury me buck naked in the casket and have a viewing, And she was like, why? And she starts laughing. Why would I do that? I was like, I would get a kick out of it. I know I'll be dead, but I would get a kick out of everyone coming to the viewing. Even if it's just, I don't have a whole lot of friends, but the family and the close friends. And the first thing they're going to notice is that Mike's buck naked in the thing.
Mike's not wearing a shirt.
And there's going to be at least one, because, the casket is only from your stomach up.
Right.
Somebody, when you go by, is going to peek down below. And I said, it would be funny to have like a little puppet or something down there staring back.
Puppet.
Or a little automatic.
Where are you going to put the puppet, Mike?
Or a little camera that would snapshot and like on a screen say,
"Woohoo,
gotcha!"
Peaked, I gotcha.
And she's like, "Why would you? Why would you?" It's like we're supposed to be a solemn. I was like, "Yeah, but I would get a kick if it's possible to see your own funeral." I would be, you could imagine that I would be rolling.
Oh, that would
laughing,
be awesome. That would
watching that.
That would be incredible.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Planking with Jim. Join Jim Monday through Friday on the Facebook as he brings you the most entertaining live planking available anywhere on the internet. Watch Jim plank, hear his amusing stories, and every day one of his cats walks right in front of the damn camera. Now that's funny. So what are you waiting for? Get planking today on Planking with Jim. Jim Timmerman is not a licensed fitness instructor. Please plank at your own risk and always consult your doctor before beginning any exercise routine.
I have an update on a story that we did months ago.
Okay.
Do you remember, and it was before Christmas, when I was going store to store to store to store trying to find lime sherbet? And I couldn't find lime sherbet anywhere.
I didn't know why.
They still don't have it because I was going to make punch.
Oh yeah, that stuff. Yeah,
for a Christmas party.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
You just shot me back to the past.
Yeah. So I was going to make punch.
Wow.
Couldn't find lime sherbet anywhere. Well, I was in Kroger a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And I was wondering if anybody does this because you go up to the check out your food and hey, did you find everything okay? And people go, yeah.
I hate that.
Do you tell them that you didn't?
I think I have a long time ago, but I don't remember
because it stumps
I don't want to
them.
have that conversation.
I know it totally stumps them. Guys like, hey, did you find everything okay? I was like, no, no, I did not. You still don't have lime sherbet.
Yeah.
And he says, what? I said, lime sherbet. You don't have it in the case. You got orange, you got the pineapple, you got now you have watermelon with chocolate chips in it. Which who's going to eat that?
Yeah.
But you don't have lime sherbet. And he goes, well, that sounds delicious. I know it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I was going to buy some because it is delicious.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't like being confrontational with the guy, but he says, well, I'll ask around. I'm like, okay, thanks. And I'll get 0 results from it. Mm-hmm. The bag boy says, I wonder if anybody ever says, hey, would you like some punch? And then you punch them. And I say, I don't know, but I'm mentioning that on the podcast. Yeah.
So I've recently got really into cream cheese. And bagels. Let me clarify. And bagels. I really dig cream cheese now.
You act like I recently got into welding. I bought the helmet and the thing and and I've excavated part of the garage and I made my own little welding place. I recently got into cream cheese.
So much so that I've scoured for a particular type of cream cheese that I thought sounded interesting when I wasn't into it. Yeah. So there was a period of my life where I could have cream cheese or not cream cheese. I don't care if I have any cream cheese. It didn't mean anything to me.
Right.
I'm sure there was a period of my life. I'm sure there was a period of my life where it seemed disgusting.
But now you're at a point.
But in my well, hold on. Don't rush the story.
Now you're at a point where cream cheese does mean something.
It does mean something to me.
Oh, good.
So there was a point where I was ambivalent about it. I was ambivalent about cream cheese. And I saw that they had honey pecan cream cheese. And I thought, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
But I don't like cream cheese.
Okay.
So I'll never have it. Okay. Years go by. Years go by.
Yeah.
The kids have gotten into, particularly Charlie, has gotten into bagels.
Yeah.
And
bagels are delicious.
Charlie loves cream cheese.
Yeah.
And I was like, you love cream cheese? He's like, yeah, it's awesome. And Andrew, the same thing. They love cream cheese. Mm-hmm. So I've gotten into eating bagels with them. And I've discovered that I'm into cream cheese now.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to go now's my time to have the honey pecan cream cheese. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm into it. Go to Kroger. They got the chive and onion. What kind of psychopath?
Who's going to eat chive? Yeah.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
That's the majority of what they had. Exactly. Then they had the standard cream cheese.
Right.
Then they had strawberry cream cheese and blueberry cream cheese.
Yeah.
They didn't have the honey pecan cream cheese. Oh. So I got the strawberry and I got the blueberry.
Yeah.
I ate those like way too fast. Like I said, I've gotten into cream cheese.
Did you just eat the cream cheese raw, like right out of the bowl?
No, I'm not an animal.
Cereal?
I made bagels. I didn't make bagels. I toasted bagels and then put the cream cheese on them and I ate it. There were a few times when I was eating these bagels with cream cheese while Charlie was eating the bagels with cream cheese. And I was explaining to him that cream cheese has cheese. And he thought that sounded disgusting. And I said, why do you think it's called cream cheese?
Wait, he didn't realize that cream cheese has cheese in it?
I think secretly he knew that. I think this is part of the reason why
Have you exposed him to cream of chicken soup?
No.
You know that has chicken in it, right?
Here's the thing. I used to be, like I said, ambivalent about cream cheese. I like the taste, but I didn't like the fact that it had cheese in the word. You know what I mean?
I used to be ambivalent about cream cheese.
So anyway, I get excited. I want to have the honey pecan cream cheese. They don't have it at the Kroger down here.
Right.
So I went to a Meijer. I went to the wrong Meijer. I went to a Meijer in Hamilton.
Did you go to the Breaking Bad Meijer?
No. Well, I went into Hamilton.
Yeah.
They had it there, but then they also had, and get ready for this. Are you sitting? You are sitting down.
I am sitting down, yes.
Brown sugar and cinnamon cream cheese.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Exactly. Yeah. So I bought 2 tubs of that because I'm like, I'm never coming back to this Meijer again. This may be the only time I ever get to eat it. I brought that home. I was excited. I toasted bagels. Mm-hmm. Just disgusting.
It's not good?
It's not good at all. It's awful. It tastes like...
Was it like the Philly cheese brand?
Yeah.
Philadelphia?
Yeah. Okay. Awful.
Oh.
So just this past week, I went to Kroger again, and they've stocked up on the honey pecan.
Okay.
I had the honey pecan 3 nights ago. Is as wonderful as I thought it would be when I was first... exposed to
when
it
you were non-ambivalent.
When I was ambivalent, I thought that's one that I would love to have. And now that I like cream cheese, I was right.
I'll tell you something that's really good.
What?
You get the English muffins.
Okay. I'm not a fan of English muffins.
What is wrong with you? How can you not be a fan of English muffins?
I don't like English muffins. First time I was now this is not fair to English muffins. I know I just interrupted your story, but listen. The Egg McMuffin, right? That's an English muffin?
Yeah, but that doesn't count, though, because I don't like the Egg McMuffin.
Okay. I like Egg McMuffin.
Okay.
But it's
how are we friends?
When I see an English muffin, I think Egg McMuffin. And if I don't have an Egg McMuffin coming along with it, it's like if I see syrup, I think pancakes.
Yeah.
If you have syrup on the table and you're serving something and that thing that you're serving is not pancakes, it's probably waffles. If it's neither of those, then I've got a problem.
What about French toast?
No. But if you're expecting pancakes and you get French toast, that's a problem.
Okay. Well, yeah. Pancakes are they're
the top of the food chain.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. Anyway, if it's the worst episode ever. If you open your mind, okay,
English muffin. I'll walk down the path with you an English muffin.
A blueberry English muffin.
Holy Lord, they come with blueberries?
Yeah, you can get the blueberry English muffin. You toast it, and then you put blueberry cream cheese in it, and it's hot blueberry heaven.
So you already knew about the blueberry cream cheese.
Yeah, everybody knows.
You know about the strawberry cream cheese?
Yeah, everybody knows about the strawberry.
Did they make strawberry English muffins?
No, they don't. But hot blueberry heaven. Get the blueberry English muffin.
Okay.
Toast it. Cream cheese.
Yeah.
Fold it.
Okay.
Because they're easier to eat than the bagel. Because sometimes you bite into a bagel and you're chewing and you're like, did my tooth come out? I think my tooth might have come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of cheese, we're going to do this podcast. One last story.
Okay.
That I'm going to tell before we throw it to the credits. Last week I told the story about having cheese on my toe at the zoo.
Yeah.
And that the guy walks across and he said his daughter wanted to see the cheese on the toe. This week I got peanut butter on my glasses.
You're having food problems.
Years ago, I got toothpaste in my eye once, and I can't really explain how I did that.
Yeah.
But Cameron had a brand new jar of peanut butter, and you know how you had to peel the protective seal off the top. We can't get this damn thing off to save our life, and so I take a butter knife, stab it, and I'm trying to pry it off.
And it
pops, and peanut butter flips right into the middle of my glasses.
Did you think you had died for a split second or that you'd gone blind?
No.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm glad I had these glasses on because then I would have had to tell people I had peanut butter in my eye, not on my glasses.
Yeah.
So, but it's better than salsa, right?
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for listening to episode 42. We hope you come back.
We do.
Because next week, we have the girls from Textual Tension are going to be joining us again.
Yeah.
And when they come back, Mike and I have promised... Well, Mike has promised not to argue with me. He's promised not to interrupt me. And I've promised not to throw ink pens at him.
Yeah,
because
that's dangerous.
Because the last time they were here, Mike and I weren't on our best behavior. Well, Mike wasn't on his best behavior.
In my defense.
You thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was told later that I interrupted you way too much.
Right.
And that's after I cut all the interruptions.
Right.
I thought I'd cut all the interruptions.
How many minutes worth of interruptions did you cut out?
There's probably about 5 or 6 minutes. But that's out of a 10-minute section.
Right.
Yeah. So things got a little shady there.
Yeah. Margie and Rachel from Textual Tension will be joining us next week. And so we hope you come back for that. And we really want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. And you know what? You can listen to any of our episodes. Again, we hope you listen to 40 and then 39 and then 38.
Yeah.
Listen to them backwards.
Yeah. Slide into it backwards.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what she said.
Wow.
And we want you to subscribe, leave us a review.
Follow us on the Tweeter.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We're on the Facebook. We just really thank you. And we hope to see you next time on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Thanks for listening to our show. And oh, by the way, Darren, you're fired. Join us next week with Mike and Greg BOTOS.
Let's go have a pizza. We should hang out. This is the worst episode.
This could be. It could be.
This may give the Halloween want to run for the money. Podcasts are like kids. They can't all be winners.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.